Guys, so today I'm going to tell you about the strange old man in my area and why I think he's strange. Okay, so just after eating breakfast, so I'm a little bit out of breath here, but anyway, so I'm going to start off from the beginning. Right, so I moved into Carrickmines in 2013. Okay, and there's this estate beside me called the Park Camatuli. And there's this old man who lives on 4 Sycamore Grove. I now call him the strange old man in my area, even though I don't live in that area anymore. So anyway, I started off. I first experienced the strange old man when I was walking down the street. I was kind of, the thing is, like, I'm on top of like a hill in my estate, and then you kind of go down this little hill that brings you into the Park Camatuli. So yeah, I was just walking down that hill, and I saw this greyhound run up towards me, and I saw this strange old man run over, and he screams at the top of his voice, "Baby, baby, get back here!" And I was like, Jesus Christ! If you don't want your dog running up to people, then keep the thing on a lead. All right, you think he would have learned his lesson, but no, the same thing happened again. It kept happening. The same thing again and again. I'm thinking, geez, this guy's stupid. Like, just keep the dog in the lead, and he's not gonna run up to people, But and I thought he was a bit of a lunatic, though he was screaming at the top of his voice. So anyway, I decided to one day I was walking down his street, Sycamore Grove, and I see him walking Phoebe, and he sees me, and he's raising his nose at me like that, which is very odd. I was like, what's this guy's problem? I was like, what's wrong with this guy? Because, I never spoke to this guy, I never done anything to him. I never knick-knacked his house, I never egged his house, never did anything like that. So I couldn't understand why this guy was acting in such a weird fashion. So, I just started to think, oh, this guy's a grumpy prick. He hates people. If you know what I mean. But then fast forward to 2017, I decided to shave my head, and I was bald. If you look at my old Malloy Runner channel, you'll see that I was bald around, I think it was September 2017. So, one day I was a runner back then, a distance runner, and I was cycling down to the Phoenix Park, for a cross-country race, the Dublin Novice. And, I was cycling down the hill, heading towards, the Phoenix Park. I was cycling down the hill where the strange old man lives. It's a very steep hill, so, I wanted to be cautious. I've got a race coming up. I'm not a cyclist. I'm a runner. I'm just trying to get to my running race. So I kept the brakes on, trying not to go too fast. But anyway, so I see this strange old man in my area, and he's standing in his front garden. And, I'm trying to... I know he's a grumpy prick, so I try to keep my eyes forward, avoid making eye contact with him. But then I see from my peripheral vision to the left, he's like staring at me, and then I'm like, okay, that's a bit weird. So I turn around, and I look at him, and I see him fold his arms, and then he starts smiling at me, like, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I thought this guy hated me, and I was really confused, and a couple of days later, I was just walking up that hill again. I see the strange old man, and he looks at me, and he just gives me a smile like that, and I'm like, okay, this is very strange. This guy has gone from being, a guy who's snobby, who thinks he's better than me, to being some beta male simp. It's like one extreme to the other, okay? And, because I have my head shaved, I was thinking, right, he probably doesn't recognize me, he thinks I'm a different person. So give it a few weeks, my hair will go back, and he'll notice it's me, and he'll realize how stupid he was. But anyway, so one day, I was out for a run one evening, and so I was running up that same road, Sycamore Grove, and I was running up that hill, and the strange man kind of lives at the top of that little hill. It's not a big hill; it's got like 5 houses. But anyway, so I was sort of near the bottom of that hill, running up the hill, and so I see the strange old man in the distance, running through his front garden. He runs out onto the main street, and he starts staring at me as if he's seen a ghost. He's like, yeah, that's just weird. So I'm like, oh, look, I looked away, tried to ignore him for a little while, but then I turn around and look at him just as I'm about to run past him on the street. And I see him, hands on hips, and he's staring down at my legs like. And I lost all respect for him after that. I was like, right, so you hated me just because I run, because I'm a distance runner, and I was like, really? Really? Is that like what is wrong with you? Like you're a freak, And I lost all respect for him. And from then on, every time I see him walking past me on the street, I laugh at him because I just think he's a weirdo. And it got to a point one time where there's like these trees in front of the house. This is actually part of Cabinteely Park. People don't seem to know this. But anyway, so I kind of hid behind those trees and I started filming him with my phone, trying to make a video on the old Malloy Runner channel. This was maybe 2 years ago, I think, maybe 3. And so I'm filming him, I'm talking about the stranger man in my area, and I'm just talking about some of the weird stuff he's done. And it's a stranger man in my area. He has CCTV cameras in his house, on his front door, and I've looked into his house and I've seen him like he has this like room where he sits down at a computer. I think maybe he can see the CCTV footage from that computer. Maybe that's how maybe he was looking at that footage when he saw me out running that one day. And so yeah, I was just filming his house, talking about how strange he was hiding behind the trees. I think maybe he might have seen that. He might have seen me filming him through his CCTV cameras, and he might have thought that maybe I was trying to rob his house. Maybe I was part of a criminal gang and I was filming that house, and I was saying to the other gang members, right, let's rob this guy's house or something. And I think he became like afraid of me after that, and one day he had construction workers over his house. I was walking past his house. I was just hear one of the construction workers shouting at me, "Hey, hey, hey!" And I think it's because maybe the stranger man told him what I had been doing. And also I remember one time I was walking up the Sycamore Grove, and stranger man has Phoebe on a lead, and he sees me walking up the hill, and he's like, "Oh, Phoebe, come here." And he's just standing there looking down at the dog, and I'm like, okay, that's a bit weird. So I walk past him, I turn around, and I see him walking down the hill in the opposite direction. And I've noticed this a lot in the past, around that time. He'd often, if he's walking his dog Phoebe, he'd often like change directions and try to like avoid me, I can't remember, I was walking through my estate and I was on one side of the road and he was on the other side of the road. Or we're sort of both walking in the same direction, and then I take a look to my left and I see he's turned around and gone the opposite direction, So I also noticed there was a for sale sign outside his house, so I think maybe he saw me as a threat. He wanted to sell his house because he was afraid I'd rob the place, which is a bit stupid. That's it really. Stranger man in my area, hated me just for being a distance runner. I found that very, very harsh, very stupid. Actually, I saw him out running once. That's the weird thing. Like maybe a couple of weeks before he ran outside his house and started staring at me that one night, I saw him out running himself. So it's okay if you go running, but it's not okay if I go running. Do you see how that's a little bit ridiculous? I've told my mother about this guy. She says he must have mental health issues or something. He's not mentally well. And I think she might be right. I've seen him walking. There's like this clinic beside the Tesco in Cabinteely, and I've seen him walking in there before. So I'm thinking maybe he has psychological issues, if you know what I mean. So definitely comes across as being a bit of a strange person. And I think the last incident I remember with him was I was cycling down that hill that he lives on, and he let Phoebe out the lead, and instead of screaming, "Phoebe, Phoebe, get back here," instead of screaming at Phoebe, he just let Phoebe run around. And I was on my bike, and Phoebe was running around me, and it looked like he could knock me over, and I was like, Jesus Christ. And he didn't give a shit, he didn't seem to care. You know, it's almost as if he wanted Phoebe to knock me over. But if Phoebe knocked me over, it's fair to say that Stranger Man would have got a foot up his ass. So yeah, that's it really. Haven't really seen him in a while. Um, you know, of course, two factors: me moving house and not spending a lot of time in that area has something to do with it. Also, the fact that COVID has come around, coronavirus. Maybe he's too scared to leave the house. I don't know. He looks like the type of guy who would be too scared to leave the house. Yeah, so that's my video about the stranger man in my area.